Brookvale Oval is the host today for this big clash between Manly and Canterbury. Match of the round in round one of the 1994 Winfield Cup. Canterbury running from left to right, and both these sides very high in favouritism for the flag this year. Let's have a look at these sides for you as the match starts to unfold. There's the back line for Canterbury. Wilson, Williams, Haligan, Dallas in the centres alongside McCracken, Polomata and Lamb wearing the number 7 this year. The forward line is Dimmick, Pay, Darren Smith, Brokenshire comes into the side, Bella in the front row with him, and Geordie Peets is the hooker. Manly have also made some changes, as the first of those changes, Rogers brings it back from the fullback position in jumper number 40. Elsgood, Hancock on the wings, Moore and Hill in the centres, and Ridge is playing at 5/8. He captains the side, and Cliff Lyons is the half-back. Also on the forwards, they've lost Ian Roberts. Cunningham is the lock. Menzies and Alexander in the second row, with Alexander coming into the side. Carroll will go back to the second row, there's no doubt about that. Gillespie in the front with Scott Fulton, the hooker.
And that's the role that you'll see Matthew Ridge employing today. The big kicking game. They're running with a very strong breeze in this first half as Manly. Scott Wilson beats the first tackle. That was of Hancock. Good run there from Wilson. Matthew Ridge at 5'8". He's played there in the trial matches. Interesting to see how he handles being so much closer to the ruck.
Manly were very strongly favoured to win this game, but with all these late changes, Peter, there seems to be, or has been, quite a bit of a swell for Canterbury to become the favourite at kick-off time.
Well, that's a great run there from Martin Bella. The kind of run that Manly would have expected from Ian Roberts, who isn't playing today. Bill Harrigan has found that Canterbury impeded the Manly players from getting on the loose ball and awards the penalty that way. You can see the decision there. It was a good charge from Bella. At the end there, he tries to get the one-handed pass away. And Matthew Ridge was impeded by Darren Smith.
Tap being taken by Jack Elsgood. Rookie of the year last year, and was given the honour of launching 1994 on Friday night. Carroll minus the headgear, which has become part of his trademark. Fulton the dummy half in 9. 41 is Alexander. And Bella already is very prominent. He always seems to have outstanding games, or endeavours to, against Bobby Fulton coach sides. That's David Gillespie. Cliff Lyons. Good service for Ridge. Back inside for Cunningham. Cunningham heard the call from Rogers, but it was just a fraction too late. Lyons crosses the 20, throws the dummy, gets inside Dallas, tries to get outside another player, but puts the ball on the ground in desperation. Scooped up by Terry Lamb, who was back in the sweeping role.
And has now been taken into touch. So this may well be a Manly feed.
The Manly come up with the scrum feed and the win. And this is an important clash. The centres today, very big men, Terry Hill and Danny Moore. McCracken's not a small man. There he is making the tackle on Alexander. But his partner, Brett Dallas, has come from the wing to the centres, and he's small by comparison. There he is going up, though, and displaying a great tackle. Cut the legs out from under Menzies. Ridge does some dancing, gets it away for Dave Gillespie. Gillespie 12 metres out from the Canterbury line. And Manly on the attack. They're in the centre of the ground. Fulton a couple of paces out. Lyons calls Rogers on his inside. Rogers with the socks down, the long hair. Joined Manly this year. Fulton away again on the last for Lyons to put it into the in goal. It's fairly deep here. Williams has got a job in front of him, and he gets back into the field of play. His body was in the in goal, but he slammed the ball down just out into the field of play. So it was good thinking by the Kiwi winger, Jason Williams.
It was great work there from Williams, as it was from Dimmick in that next play to get the ball almost 10 metres out. But if Canterbury are to handle this Manly attack, their inside defensive men must continue to work. You'll see all afternoon that Manly will run angles. They'll bring men back inside. If there's anybody lazy in the Bulldog defence, that will catch them out.
Very big welcome to our live audience over in Perth, TVW, joining us for your live rugby league of a Sunday. Bella tackled just 30 metres out from his own line. Terry Lamb, the kick bouncing down towards the 30-metre line and beyond for Rogers. Jorgen Rogers is his name, but to his friends it's Yogi, and it's probably not hard to work out why. Elsgood a dummy half. Danny Moore slams it up to the 40-metre line. Scott Fulton, the dummy half, but a penalty with the sound of the whistle, and it goes to Canterbury.
They play the ball infringement there. Danny Moore looking to get up and play the ball. The referee ruling that he tried to milk that penalty, had a chance to put the ball down elsewhere, but on the man who came up with the tackle.
My apologies to Channel 9 in Perth. It's STW, not, what did I say? TVW.
Oh, I don't know, Ray. You have been known to be fairly dyslexic at times. At least you got 3 letters in there where there was supposed to be 3.
Anyway, we've changed the call sign in Perth in one fell swoop. STW, thank you for joining us again. This is one of the big pluses for Canterbury this year. A man by the name of Daryl Haligan. 40 metres out for Haligan, on its way, and bouncing off the crossbar. Manly had to stay very much alert there. Ridge brings it out in customary fashion.
And that was a perfect indication of just how strong this breeze is. Normally Daryl Haligan wouldn't have had a trouble putting a 40-metre kick
Here's
down.
a chance for Manly. Hancock, after they spread the ball along the back line. Linking up Menzies. Now Lyons. Lyons 35 out is put down. Oh, great play, Manly. Prepared to throw the ball about inside their own 20-metre zone. Fulton gives it along the line. Rogers onto Moore. Moore onto Ridge. Oh, crashing tackle by Darren Smith. A beauty.
Oh, magnificent tackle. Great attack there from Manly. I thought there would have been a penalty on the far side. Jason Williams actually interferes with one of the Manly support players. Took him out of play completely. This was the final passage of play here, and look at that front-on defence from Darren Smith on Ridge. And yes, the penalty will go across to the far side of the field. You see Jason Williams there pulling out the number 4 in Terry Hill. Good advantage played by the referee and touch judges.
That was good, very good rugby league. Isn't it great to have coaches in the game prepared to give their side some latitude? Brisbane does it, and it looks like Manly are going to do it. Penalty goes to Manly. Ridge playing at 5/8. Now the tap. Gillespie. Darren Smith was great in that last passage of play. 41 is Alexander. And it's all hands on deck for Canterbury. Carroll storming up inside the 20-metre line. He's the cynosure of eyes here today. Ridge cutting back inside Cunningham. Picks up Rogers in the centre. Lyons across. Then, another great tackle, McCracken. He swamped Danny Moore out of it and hurt Moore. Lyons uses Fulton. A great name, synonymous with this Seaside Rugby League club. Lyons puts it over the top. Oh, diving take that went astray for Lamb. Jason Williams is the man with the ball, about 8 metres out from his own line.
Yeah, very rare to see that kind of mistake from Terry Lamb. Thought that the fullback was going to catch it when he had the best catch, did Lamb. Then he decided to let it go. The ball bounced, and that put pressure on Williams, but again, he did a good job.
Canterbury have been weathering the storm, as I said on Friday night, and it turned out to be pretty much the case. East bombarded St George for the first 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden St George went the length of the field and picked up a try or a penalty. Here's Canterbury getting a penalty.
Bill Haligan very strong on any play the ball infringements. This time it's David Gillespie. A little bit of a facial led him broken try. They just slowed the play the ball down a little bit longer.
Haligan typified the strength of the wind with that penalty kick earlier. It hit the crossbar. He normally would have no trouble from 40 metres out. Bella commanding a lot of interest. Crowd give a big roar every time Bella handles the ball. Face ball across for Jason Williams. He's 35 out from the Manly line and into touch. Penalty Canterbury. Let's have a look at this.
It's the referee ruling that the tackle had been completed and it was 2 actions in taking the winger over the sideline. They're still driving there is Hancock and Hill. I thought the momentum was a continuous one.
Well, not only that, he still tried to promote the football. Oh, what a great tackle! It'll be Gillespie, surely. It was Gillespie. Polamalu turns it inside. Wilson goes without it. Manly come away with it. And that's Terry Hill. In fact, it's Cunningham. Ridge for Lions. Menzies is out there. He's used as a decoy. Hill goes outside his man. Has his winger with him. Hancock comes inside. Lions goes outside. They're on the halfway mark. We're in for a great afternoon of league, if this is any indication. They're really throwing it about, and some of the tackles have been absolutely monsters. Alexander plays it. Fulton sweeps it. Lions with it. Now, Cunningham. The Kraken tries to make the tackle. Danny Moore puts it behind him. It's play on. Ridge through to Lions. Lions off the halfway mark. They're not going anywhere. Menzies, he's in traffic. Fulton now scurries around from behind one of his own players. Ridge floats the ball back. I'm not quite sure enough why, but Cunningham was there, thankfully, for Matthew Ridge. A lot of passing, but there's no forward momentum here. Lions picks up Ridge on the flat, scoops the ball back. Canterbury come up with it. It was the end of the tackle count anyway. No score.
Cliff Lyons is getting a good platform to work off from his Manly forwards. He's getting a lot of room to go to the line. On that occasion, it was the last tackle. He tried to put Ridge through, but the defence was too good. They really must put a lot of pressure on Cliff Lyons. They can make decisions a little bit earlier than he'd like to. Bella forces the pass. Knock on. Here, Manly feed. Another mistake from Canterbury in the opponent's half.
Overcast day in Sydney. Quite a pleasant day. A fairly strong breeze blowing. As Manly come up with the scrum win, Terry Hill is able to get over the top of Brett Dallas that time. The youngster, till this point, has been okay, but Terry Hill's a much bigger man, and here's a penalty. Penalty goes to Manly. That's against the marker, I believe, for pushing the man playing the ball. Neither is supposed to touch each other. You could blow the P out of your whistle, though, the number of times it does happen. Now Manly goes back into an attacking zone, 35 out from the line. Lions keeps turning a player back inside. It's David Gillespie this time. Hancock, they've been working to his wing. Elsgood's on the other side of the ground. He's the kid with the rap on him at the moment, but they haven't worked to his side yet. Alexander's with it, but the pass is forward. Scrum will go down just inside the 20-metre line.
Well, Cliff Lyons does throw a lot of passes that are very flat. On that occasion, he didn't believe that the pass had gone forward. The referee not in great position, but was close enough to adjudicate that way.
Keep in mind that Manly are out there without 2 of their big-name players. Roberts pulled out this morning. And, of course, we knew that Jeff Tuvey was struggling with an injury. But they're going to have an impressive lineup when they get their full team on the park. Geordie Peets has picked off in another good tackle by Gillespie.
Polamalu has broken straight through. He's got McCracken on the inside. He'll have the speed himself, yes. Well, one missed tackle there from the Manly defensive line, and Polymount has just gone straight through. Sensational run there from the 5'8", normally a halfback. Him and Terry Lamb swap around in this side. Both of these sides just show what kind of attacking ability they have. Got in between, I think, Cunningham and Ridge on that occasion, and Rogers didn't have the speed to come across. Kicks out of the tackle and tries to improve the position. Danny Moore finally comes up with the tackle, but much too late. And there you see through Cunningham, a good little change of direction there off the right foot from Polymount. He's made a great fist of rugby league since coming across from rugby union only a couple of seasons ago. And he puts the first 4-pointer on in this game.
Haligan now from 22 metres out. 11 metres in from touch. Breeze against him. He allows for it, but not enough. So Canterbury gets the first points. They lead 4-0 over Manly at Brookvale. Scott Fulton's got a problem there with that left ankle. No sign of replacement for young Fulton. Manly not prepared to use one up, it would seem. Expecting him back on the park, I would imagine, very quickly. Haligan looked to send somebody back at the defence, but nobody really wanted to. So Haligan took it back himself, and now to Dimmock.
Really does work very well, doesn't it, Ray? This swapping of Polymount and Terry Lamb in the Canterbury attack and defence as well. Lamb, a workaholic, and you know that he's had injury problems over the last couple of years, and just trying to lessen the load on him to get more football out of him is a good ploy by Canterbury. And Polymount, one of the real outstanding prospects, young players in the game at the moment.
Lamb giving a great pass for Polymount to improve it. 42 metres out from the Manly line. This is the last. Lamb now holds it back, runs to the defence line, puts it in the air. Pressure here. Rogers has lost it. It's gone to ground. Manly come up with it. Lyons just giving it to Hancock. And Hancock bombarded by the Canterbury defence. Canterbury had to weather a storm early in the game. They did that, and then they were the first scorer. Watching this game unfold, maybe this pendulum has swung now. The scoreboard says it has to the blue and whites. Even though Manly have had more of the territory and more of the possession, Ian Roberts, one of those two star players, not in the Manly side today. Williams is going to take it back. Why wouldn't you? No problems created in picking it up, and he's tackled inches into Manly's territory. 6 more tackles. The ball was struck for in the play the ball by Manly. Dallas is the dummy half. Very quick off the mark. And second in the rugby league sprint this year. Won it the previous year. Bella's again working hard. Sometimes they go to ground, but more often than not, they do this for their team. As Lamb gets it up to the 20-metre line. Geordie Peets is the dummy half. Wilson fends off Alexander and is cut down around the legs by Owen Cunningham. Peets uses Lamb. He pushes on for Dimmock. Then Lamb backs up. They run the angle for Polymount. And Polymount struggles. He's already scored 1 try. He's built close to the ground, but he's a very strong young man. 5 tackles gone. Geordie Peets the dummy half. Lamb puts it through the hands. Dimmock is with it. Back to McCracken. They can't stop the big man, can they? Forward pass.
Keeping the ball alive on the last tackle, Canterbury. And a very close thing for Manly as Jack Elsgood takes it centre field, 10 out. McCracken over the line, but the pass ruled forward by the referee. Great attack again, featuring Polymount.
Scott Fulton is back on the park. David Gillespie turns it away for Lyons, and now for Carroll. Carroll did well. He got into a tackle, got his arms free. Ridge passes, and Lyons is on the end of a corker from McCracken. Lyons trying to get up and play it. Appeared to be pushed down by Darren Smith. Manly supporters called for a penalty. Ridge kicks over the top, and it's picked up by Jason Williams. Well read by the winger.
A very adventurous play there from Matthew Ridge, chipping inside his own half. It hasn't come out in their favour. Now Canterbury in possession, only second tackle, 40 metres out. It's a good changeover for them.
Scott Wilson working on the blind side. Put down by Gillespie, but now it's gone back left for Lamb. Then they run a decoy, and they put it around the back for Dean Pay. Centre of the ground, 35 metres out. And this is Brokenshire. Driving defence. Carroll was the tackler. 5 gone. Dimmick holds it back, and it goes over the sideline. But Canterbury are growing in confidence. They're looking strong at the moment. From the turnover, Cunningham. Met by Brokenshire and Darren Smith. Matthew Ridge, Lyons. Cuts out Hill, finds Hancock. It's probably only the way the game has panned out that all the play has been running towards Craig Hancock's wing. With the boom winger, the youngster Elsgood, back on the left.
But also maybe, Ray, Manly have targeted that side with Brett Dallas playing in the centres. Just trying to catch him out. A high tackle there will be penalised. Polamatta on Carroll. But so far, Brett Dallas hasn't had any problems. He's been in the right place at the right time. As you can see, Polamatta going high. The penalty finds touch. 30 metres out from the Canterbury line.
So an opportunity comes again for Manly. We've had about 22 minutes of the game, first half. And this is Danny Moore now. Carroll storming onto it. Met head on by Geordie Peets. He didn't make the tackle, but Darren Smith completed it. Lyons out for Cunningham at second receiver. Ridge is a couple of times his actions have been hard to follow.
They've got Martin Bella very wide on this side of the ruck. They go the other side through Cliff Lyons, throws the dummy again. And now Bella's working his way in. He should have come this way on that tackle. The big man was caught wide.
Cunningham for Ridge, and then Alexander, and across for Menzies. I don't know whether Menzies was meant for it. Alexander supports and backs up. Rogers puts it into the centre. Gillespie hands it off. Ridge is doing the dancing again. Alexander put away by McCracken. Good tackle by the big Canterbury centre. Now Lyons, this is the last. Spears the ball out for Jack Elsgood. Looks for support. Finds Danny Moore. Then Menzies. Now Fulton. He puts the kick in the air. Ridge goes up and rakes it down. It's loose on the ground, and Canterbury come away with it. Cliffy Lyons is injured for Manly. Williams away for Canterbury. Just as well that tackle was made by Danny Moore, because Rogers was up in the line, given that Lyons was receiving attention. In fact, Rogers is playing very flat at full back. Kick over the top would not surprise once Terry Lamb susses that out. Brokenshire's coming off, and Mitch Newton is going on for Canterbury. Dean Pay bumping his way up to the 40-metre line. Now Lamb. Both these sides would be, I imagine, very hopeful of being in the semi-finals. In fact, it wouldn't be all that long a crisis about them playing in the grand final. 21 metres out, we find touch. Bit of rain in Sydney during the week has brought Brookvale up very nice. Jack Elsgood.
Been a lot of ball movement in this game. Both teams really prepared to throw it around, but one of the real features, as Ray pointed out earlier, has been the defence. Been some incredible hits front on, and that man involved there, Jared McCracken, responsible for a couple of very timely tackles, as too has David Gillespie for Manly. Really led the way, some big hits front on. That's Gillespie hitting the ball up, finding support.
That's good effort by Gillespie. Alexander's probably been their best forward, I've got to say that. He's really injected himself into the game. Is there any significance in the centres, Moore and Hill, taking the first two hit-ups on this set of 6? Menzies. Lions. Came off Canterbury. Terry Hill did well. He won't nullify the tackle count because he didn't play at the ball. Lamb. Wilson into the back line. I might be wrong, but Gillespie looks to be a shade faster this year. Darren Smith.
Gillespie. Good tackle around the legs. He's taken the ball up and offloaded a lot more than probably what we've seen in the past. So Bob Fulton, great take there from 41 for
Simon Gillies. It is in the
on
headgear, Pete. Dean Pay, 30 metres out from the line. Carroll getting back into the defence line after trying to tackle Darren Smith. A tackle that hurt him. He got his head in the wrong place. Cunningham comes off his 30-metre line. 15 minutes to go, first half. Alexander. Ridge. Carroll comes off now. 23 goes out for Manly. And that's Matt Dunford. Hancock is 42 metres away from the line. Just get the feeling that one of these sides is about to crack. It's been played at an extreme pace. The defence is taking its toll. And the first one to leave a little chink is going to be made to suffer. Penalty goes to Manly.
There'll be no doubt that Matthew Ridge will kick for goal here, almost centre field, 38 metres out. There's been a lot of ball movement. There's also been quite a few simple errors made. A lot of loose ball, far too much loose ball for either coach to be happy with the attack of both sides. But Canterbury running into the wind would be quite happy to go in with any sort of lead at half-time. That will be an advantage the second half, being able to employ a good kicking game and thus good field position. And Matthew Ridge the opportunity here to halve the lead. And with his record, you'd think that he wouldn't have too many problems with this one.
Of April, I note that we take the Winfield Cup to Perth, Penrith and Balmain. Matthew Ridge, 198 career goals. Right in front, 32 metres out, and you'd like to be getting as jaded as black, wouldn't you? Ridge gets the goal. Manly's on the board. Yeah, 15th of April, Penrith and Balmain at the Wacker, so you rugby league people in the West, jot that one down. And the way they're shaping, that'll be a good night. Canterbury kick off again into the breeze. Breeze that will be with them for the second half. And at the moment, they're enjoying a lead of 2 points. And I suppose if you put a points system on wins or breezes, this is probably about a 6-pointer. Some people rate it that way. Manly have had it for the first half.
I think, Ray, the most important thing with any sort of really straight through there, Stephen Menzies, most importantly about having the wind in the second half is not going out there relying on it, that's what's going to get you home. You must realise it's still a lot of work, that you do have an opportunity to play good field position. But if you think that it's going to be an enormous advantage and it's going to make things a little bit easier the second 40, that's when you'll come undone.
Haligan finding himself in the centre of the ruck. Newton. Been a handy substitute for Canterbury for a number of years now, Mitch Newton.
He's a good ball player and works very well with Terry Lamb. We've seen on a number of occasions Lamb do a run around with him and take the short ball off his shoulder. Has led to plenty of ground and led to tries.
Play by Dean Pay. Terry Lamb again runs towards that defence line, puts the kick over, leads the chase down the ground. Ridge was back at fullback. Rogers is off the field at the moment. So it's Carroll. Now Hancock struggles to get 5 metres away from his own line. Terry Hill.
Yes, Manly have gone back to almost the lineup that they named with Matthew Ridge at fullback. Jamie Olgenick is on the field now. They again throw the ball inside their own 20-metre area, come up with a mistake. Darren Smith cleans up. Centre field, good options at both sides.
Newton now runs to the right. Crowd applauding there, the tackle of Cliff Lyons. Simon Gillies gets a magic pass around the back. Geordie Peets is a metre from the line. Kraken's a dummy half. Goes himself and wastes a tackle. Peets now. Lamb. Smith! Darren Smith slams it down. Canterbury gets their second try.
And Manly have paid the penalty for too much ball movement, as the bench is pretty happy for Canterbury in their own territory. They came up with the mistake. And 4 rucks later, Canterbury put the try on the board. It looked like it was going to be a cutout pass here from Terry Lamb, but Darren Smith hit the hole beautifully. A little bit staggered was the defence of Manly. At 1-4 one player coming up a little bit quicker than the outside man, and that created the hole. We'll see who it is from behind here. It was David Gillespie going up a little bit quicker than Owen Cunningham, and Darren Smith, a State of Origin player. Very strong runner of the football, scores just to the side of the posts.
What a good try. Didn't go through a lot of hands, and he has come out of it slightly injured. He just gritted his teeth and said, I'm going to run through the wall and I'm going to score. But let's see. Looks like he's got a corked thigh muscle. They're trying to stretch it out. Darryl Haligan with a simple kick to convert. Canterbury goes further in front.
And Manly 2.
Canterbury leading Manly 10 points to 2.
This is the mistake that Manly came up with, just trying to push the football too much in their own territory. David Alexander turns and looks and really wasn't going to promote too much for Scott Fulton, and the mistake was made.
These two sides have played 89 times since they came into the competition in 1947. And Manly has the better of it 49-35, and at Brookvale 28-11. I've got a funny feeling Canterbury hasn't won here at Brookvale for a long, long time.
Well, I think you'll find that it's been 1984 was the last year that they won here, so it's an incredible record against a side in Canterbury who've been so strong over all of those years.
Gillies wrapped up and put down by Cliff Lyons. Lamb is injecting himself into the game more and more. Jason Williams from an onside position made that tackle on Matthew Ridge.
Just on 5 minutes to go in this first half now. They're trailing by 8 Manly. They'd love to put points on the board before the break, but to do so, they've got to make sure that they control possession. Yes, move the football around, but really only give it to a man who's in a better position than the man passing the ball.
Fulton right on the halfway line. Lions. That's Dunford. Lions now kicks for his outside backs, or maybe he's looking for the line. Whichever way it went, he was unsuccessful on both counts. Gillespie to the bench.
Empty round the grounds, and then the stadium goal goes to Penrith Hill. The Sydney Football Stadium, 2021 South 6, and Downtown 8 West 6.
Polamalu. Wrestled down by Cliff Lyons. And now one of the try scorers, Darren Smith, with a short ball away for Dimmock. Dimmock's got his arms free and was looking for runners. 30 metres out from the line. Canterbury anxious for more points. Lamb through Polamalu for Dallas. Dallas taken high by Cunningham. Penalty to Canterbury. They'll take the kick. 22 metres out, 12 in from touch.
He's had a very good start to the game as Brett Dallas. Very strong run of the football, and you see Owen Cunningham going high there. Not normally his go. Cunningham, one of the better defenders around the legs in the competition. In this day and age, you are forced to go a little bit higher more often. And unfortunately for Owen Cunningham and for the Manly team, it's within well and truly kicking distance for Daryl Haligan.
5-4 the penalties, narrowly to Manly. And now Haligan. This time he's online. Another 2 points. Well, this is becoming a huge problem now. 12-2 the score to Canterbury. (12-2) then in favour of Canterbury. And Terry Lamb back on his own line. Sends Jared McCracken back to the Manly defence.
Nothing silly here from Canterbury with only 2 minutes left on the clock to the half-time break. Not really the job that Terry Lamb should be employed, working the ball out from their own territory, but they're doing a good job now with Mitch Newton. Geordie Peach has done well too. Jim Sidaris leaving the club, gone to West. Canterbury keeping the football alive. They look very good.
Scott Wilson. That was incredible what Simon Gillies just did. Dimmock bumps away, gets it away for Scott Wilson. Here comes Jake Oleanic. Jamie Oleanic, I beg your pardon. 11 metres out from the line. Dimmock.
Well, this is the last. Lamb has signalled that he'll go high, but I wouldn't be surprised if they run it, even though they are very flat. Now he'll put the bomb up.
Lamb puts it high, into the teeth of the breeze. Loose on the ground, and it went forward, apparently.
Oh, Jason Williams, believing that it was a Manly player who touched the football. Bill Harrigan did look at his in-goal judge, who was in good position. That's the last part of the kick. Oh, gee, I don't know whether he got his hand to that one, Jason Williams. That's not a great angle there. So Martin Weeks comes on now to report one of the Manly players. That was a close thing for Manly. What about great flowing movement there from Canterbury. Taking him the length of the field, and it's Mark Carroll that will be spoken to.
Let's have a look at that disallowed try again by Joe. I tell you what. Canterbury might have been really stiff here.
He's got nowhere near that, Jason Williams.
It's come off the hand of Craig Hancock. Here's the head on. Let's see if he gets a touch on the way down. Hancock.
No way, try.
No, that's a try for sure. So Canterbury very unlucky not to have that try given.
They now may salvage something from the wreck. Daryl Haligan awarded a penalty here after Mark Carroll was penalised for holding back the Canterbury player in that last attack. And this will be the last play of the game, the first half.
Well, it could hardly be called a wreck. 12-2 on the scoreboard. I take your point, but they're in front by 10. And this is going to put them 12 in front, but that breeze is pushing it well off the line. There's still a chance on. That's all came off the feet. Williams with it for Canterbury.
Well, the referee's ruled a knock on.
Well, he's called half-time as well. But to my way of looking at it, everything that happened was off the feet. 12-2, though, is the score at half-time as they take a break, and a big problem in front of Manly. Canterbury, their task of restarting in the second half, and Carroll comes back. And that run should typify what nearly everybody in the Manly outfit has to do. 12-2 down at half-time. Pushing the proverbial, aren't they? Alexander. Not beyond them. They're playing in front of their home crowd, and it's a very big crowd too. First weekend of the Winfield Cup for the new season has attracted already many thousands of people as Cliff Lyons keeps it low into the breeze that is into Manly in the second half. Scott Wilson comes back. Lyons was two hands on the player before going for the use of the leg. This is Jason Williams, put down by David O'Donnell, who's on for Scott Fulton.
Although it's not another change, you can see that Bob Fulton has continued Matthew Ridge in the fullback position and Olczyk at 5'8". I didn't think that it worked that well, Ridge, into the pivot position in that first half. And I'm sure that that's the way we'll see the rest of this match go, with Ridge back in the custodian position.
Gillies unloading, Lamb across, dummy to Polamalu once and then takes the defence with him down to the 30-metre line. Very good combination at half and 5'8". It doesn't matter who's first receiver. Ridge has lost a chance here. Oh, Ridge just cleans up. Polamalu was only a fraction of a second late.
And he had to do it all himself, Craig Polamalu. He put the kick up, and really he was the only chaser. But the beauty of the kick was that it nearly hit the post. That threw Matthew Ridge out. He did well to recover, but Polamalu, he zeroed in and still got up and came up with the tackle. Great play.
Lyons' drop kick is only very shallow. Geordie Peets falls on the ball for Canterbury. Crowd calls for a knock-on. There might have been a tiny one in there too.
I think they're also appealing, Ray, that Terry Lamb touched the football, which would have put Peets offside, but I don't think Lamb did touch it.
Newton through Lamb. Dimmick working in close quarters there, and somebody had to pay the penalty. Dimmick was the man that was on the end of a hospital pass. Put down by Gillies, fed away by Peets, turned inside by Lamb. Wilson tackled, 10 metres out from the line, and Canterbury, a very real chance of shutting Manly out of the game completely right here. That's good defence by the Eagles. To the blind side goes Peets, tries to wait the kick in. Cliffy Lyons was there.
There's a lot of defence at that side. Geordie Peets on the last tackle trying to roll one in, but there are a lot of bodies to get through. The Manly players taken out was David O'Donnell. Cliff Lyons had very little trouble cleaning up.
Play by Mark Carroll. Danny Moore comes in to take it out. Gillespie's calling for it. O'Donnell sweeps it back to the blind side for Lyons to put it over Onto that far touchline. Wilson allows it to go.
A very cool play there from Scott Wilson. Didn't want to have to pick the football up. Cliff Lyons kicking specifically for the speed man in Jack Elsgood. Wilson coming across. He knows that if he picks it up, he's going to go into touch with the ball. Just let it go over.
McCracken straightens the attack and tries to go straight through. Turned inside by Darren Smith. He's had that thigh, that right thigh, heavily strapped during the break. He did some damage to it when he scored the try. This is Dean Pay.
He was still Canterbury's hardest worker in the first half, Ray. Darren Smith, he led both the tackle count and the hit-ups. And here he goes again, picking up Mitch Newton on the inside. For Manly, David Alexander also was very strong in leading both the hit-ups and the tackles.
Lamb promoting it out for Polomouta to try and make the break. Every time he does that, Polomouta, it doesn't matter where he is on the field, he's always a hard target to stop. Dimmick kicks ahead. Pressure for Elsgood. Another line drop out for Manly.
Excellent work from Canterbury. Last tackle. Dimmick going the blind side. It's a great value in a side to be able to have players who can kick the football, not just relying on one or two. And Dimmick had a good kicking game, and Haligan chased well.
They clashed in round 9 of last year's Winfield Cup, and Canterbury won that match 21-12. And they're online to win this one. Lamb dummies and then floats it out for Gillies. Polomouta got a wicked pass. It's almost hit him on the well, it did. It hit him on the head. So it wasn't a knock on at that stage. Terry Hill coming away from the lock forward position. Lions. They get it out to the left fairly quickly. Danny Moore! Danny Moore! Big run down to the 20-metre line. Ah, tremendous tackle. Scotty Wilson. The Manly crowd comes to their feet now. Bad pass. Lions. The long ball. Ridge steps inside. 18 metres out. Canterbury regrouping in defence now. O'Donnell, Carroll. That wasn't the time for a forward to take it to ground. They needed to keep it buzzing along the back line. Gillespie is a couple of metres out. Lyons calling players around him. This is Alexander. 5 tackles gone in the centre of the park. Cliffy Lyons again. Now he uses Oljanek. He flicks it out the back. Ridge scoops it off the ground. Danny Moore does likewise. Canterbury touched the ball, I thought. Menzies gets it away. Lyons floats it back. Ridge gives a short pass. Carroll's into space. Gets it away. And the try goes begging at the hands of Dave Alexander.
Well, it's exciting stuff to watch. But unfortunately for Manly, again, the last pass going to ground. They made the big bust through Danny Moore. A mix-up in defence out wide for Canterbury. Somehow they got back and scrambled in defence and held him out on the 6th. And that was a great opportunity for the Seagulls. They're trailing by 10. And it all ends up as though they were going to score a try.
During that flurry of passing, I'm almost sure I saw a Canterbury hand touch the ball. I think it went by referee Bill Haligan. It wouldn't surprise had he restarted the tackle count. As it turns out, it probably has made little difference because the try was there with Carroll popping it up for Alexander. Haligan now taking the penalty kick for touch. 12-2 the score, Canterbury leading. Mitch Newton. Peach. Pay. Darren Smith. Gillespie tried to take him, but I think he's done his shoulder, Gillespie. He just looked straight at the bench and called for help. Out to Polamatta. Now Dallas goes straight. Lyons comes over the top to make the tackle with Oljanek underneath. Gillespie is fairly badly wounded out there. Terry Lamb, 20 metres away from the line, floats the pass out. They've got the numbers, Canterbury. In fact, they've got that many, they don't know what to do with them, really. They've come back inside. And Dallas it was, the last man tackled. The turnover for Manly. Menzies. Lyons. Danny Moore. David O'Donnell. Another David in the shape of Alexander. And then O'Donnell scooping it up off the ground for Oljanek. Stands in the tackle. Chance for Terry Hill. Gets it back inside. Matthew Ridge supports. And he's put down 38 metres out from his own line. O'Donnell away for Lyons. Gillespie inside. Cunningham outside with Elsgood. He puts it down. Haligan orders the knock on against Elsgood.
They are becoming their own worst enemies, Manly. It's great to be able to keep the ball alive and throw the football around, but if you're coming up with mistakes fairly regularly with that practice, you've got to start becoming a little bit more controlled. He was flying Elsgood, but the pass went behind.
Canterbury with the scrum win, 40 metres away from the Manly line. Polamatta put to ground by Jamie Oljanek and Matthew Ridge. Scott Wilson drops it onto the left foot. He was taken out. Was he taken out late? Dallas goes after it. Dallas comes up with the football and he puts it down. It's a try. It's a try. Incredible stuff. Canterbury's Brett Dallas has scored.
Oh, great thinking there. Second tackle, no fullback at home. We saw Phil Blake do the same on Friday night to score a match winner. Canterbury may have come up with the same kind of play. This time two players involved, utilising the great speed of Brett Dallas. The second quickest man in rugby league behind Shane Werrett. He was onside. Hancock, no slouch, had to turn and chase. But look at the ground Dallas makes on the outside. A little bit of jostling. Dallas gets to the front. The referee ruling that the momentum takes him across. Must have been some doubt about that as to whether he did promote the football a second time. Scott Wilson kicking into open spaces. Dallas picks the ball up. And the referee comes up behind, says that's a try. Again, got the adjudication from the in-goal touch judge.
Haligan with the attempted conversion, and we've got two of the best goal kickers on show here today. Ridge and Haligan, but Canterbury leading by 18 points to 2 in the match of the day. Well, this has been a tough call for Bill Haligan, the more you look at it. There he is tackled, and the ball has touched the ground, or the arm carrying the ball has touched the ground. There's no doubt about that. But one gets the impression, Peter, that he didn't necessarily contribute to the promotion of it. Rather, Craig Hancock probably did.
Well, I guess that's the ruling. To me, it looked one of those line ball decisions. I actually thought that Dallas could have been made to play the football if he hadn't have gone across the line, which would make it almost a double movement. I actually thought that maybe the momentum was stopped almost over the top of the line, and Dallas has made a bird of it by putting the ball down. But the in-goal judge was in good position. So to Haligan, and we'll read about it in the paper tomorrow.
Canterbury showing why they are certainly one of the front contenders for the Winfield Cup. I know it's day one, but already people have got it fined down to about probably 6 or 7 teams making up the 5. And I think most people have got Canterbury and Manly in their top 5. But Canterbury on today's showing, awesome at times. Gillespie.
We've spoken a fair bit about the Manly players who aren't there, and indeed both Jeff Tuvey and Ian Roberts will make an enormous contribution to this side. But Canterbury without Darren Britt, their off-season signing from Western Suburbs, and it typifies in their side just how much strength they've got up front, and that's really where premierships are won. So he'll make a difference when he comes back for the Bulldogs as well.
Ridge's kick fielded by Jason Williams, and their confidence is high, isn't it? When you see a winger scoop the ball up, a ball that he didn't have to pick up probably, that close to the line, everybody's very, very high on confidence. Terry Lamb tackled 30 metres out from his own line. It's a pack of forwards that probably hasn't been given the credits that they should have been. Canterbury I'm talking about, with the exception probably of Martin Bella. They haven't got what you would call outstanding names in rugby league. Personally, I've got a huge rap on Darren Smith, but the players that have always been in this pack in the modern era, they get the job done. Not a lot of fuss, but they get it done.
Well, the thing I like about them, Ray, is Canterbury fine touch 10 out, is that they're all very good solid workers. They get the job done, but they've also got the ability to use the football. They can all play with the football. Martin Bella, Dean Pay, Darren Smith, Jim Dimmick, they're all very good at putting a man through the gap on the outside and keeping the ball alive. And there are a lot of forwards in this competition who don't have that ability. They've got plenty of it up front.
Algenek. Matthew Ridge turning it inside for Jack Elsgood. I think we came here today thinking that Manly would have a decided advantage out in the centres battle, but I think that that has been firmly won by the Canterbury two. McCracken and Dallas, they've done some outstanding things between them. McCracken mainly in defence.
Well, the big test for Brett Dallas was going to be in defence as to getting the right side of the field. He's missed a tackle there. Menzies away down the blind side, looking to leak up. He's got lines on the inside. Good tackle from Wilson Fronthorn.
Last tackle for Manly as they go to the left again. Through Algenek to Ridge, back inside for Cunningham, back to Algenek, and a penalty goes to Manly.
He's done a great job today, Bill Haligan, in playing the advantage. Matthew Ridge takes the quick tap. They're offside again. And that's first tackle. They've got 5 to go and they're only 15 out. Played by Ridge, served up by O'Donnell for Carroll. Straight ahead, the former South Sydney player. Now from O'Donnell, fed up for Gillespie. They're going to use all these tackles. O'Donnell goes back left. Lions, neat pass, and Matthew Ridge. Ridge gets the try for Manly. Their first of the day. Is this the start of the comeback? Well, they had to be the next scorer, didn't they? Trailing 18-2. And now within 2 converted tries with a kick to come, and it was just weight of possession. And look at Cliff Lyons changing direction. He can see that they're short on that side. Jared McCracken, he's got 2 men to look after. Matthew Ridge does a great job by running straight into the hole. That meant that McCracken didn't have a play on him, but it was Cliff Lyons reading the fact that they were short on that side, the Bulldogs, and then too much work for Scott Wilson to do with Matthew Ridge on the try line. And he should convert this, so they're back in the ball game. Geordie Peets, just a bit of, I think, a nick under that left eye. Good news for Canterbury this week, of course. They signed Jared McCracken. It was thought generally he would go to the Auckland Warriors as they join the competition next year, along with the Western Reds and the Crushers and the Cowboys. Ridge
who brought up his 200 first-grade goals with his earlier kick, now makes it 202. 18 points to 8. Canterbury over Manly. Haligan sending it down towards the Manly try line, and again Carroll is asked to bring it back, and that's a good run by Mark Carroll. He's got it out just beyond the 20-metre line. Alexander, heavy work going on in there, has been all day. Lyons, Oljanik, Cunningham.
Canterbury must now muscle up in defence. You can see the confidence that's been instilled in this Manly side through that 6 points. They're going to continue to throw the football around, and when they're in this mood, they can really score points quickly. So Canterbury now must stop the football wherever possible. Every tackle must count.
Danny Moore coming in off the pass of Matthew Ridge, and then Alexander was given an ordinary proposition. Lyons switching it back to the blind, but everybody's standing still, nobody's going ahead. Now, I think he's penalised Cliff Lyons for deliberately throwing the ball forward.
So that's exactly what he's done. See Lyons here under pressure from Jason Williams from the marker position. O'Donnell ruled to be in front of Lyons, and a deliberate forward pass.
Well, I can't run with that. We had the 30-metre line as our guide. The penalty's been given to Canterbury. Here's the passage. O'Donnell to Lyons. He comes up and outside there he is now. Back to O'Donnell, who's... Well, if O'Donnell's got a foot on the 30-metre line and Lyons was a metre outside it.
Yeah, it's a tough call, especially if this one goes over. They're trailing by 10 at the moment, Manly. This would put it out to 12. And then again, we're in field goal territory.
18-8. And this bloke doesn't miss too many of these. Although I suppose with this breeze now gusting up, it does put a little bit of value into it, but not for Haligan. He's got it straight between the uprights. 20 points to 8. And Daniel Gartner's going out there now.
Yes, he's replacing Owen Cunningham, who's limping from the field. Some messages to Cliff Lyons. I know that Bob Fulton's got an enormous rap on Daniel Gartner, especially his front-on defence, but he's a good attacking player as well. But Cunningham obviously injured.
Gold Coast 14, Penrith 10.
Ridge's kick fielded by Lamb. And McCracken is put down 20 metres out from his own line. Tackler was Menzies. Stephen Menzies, a good young player for Manly. Not often have I seen him in the run-on side for Manly, but today was one of those occasions. Quick hands from Lamb to Polomouta. And Craig Polomouta, who scored the first try for Canterbury, plays the ball. Lamb promotes for Gillies, and he's starting to run with the confidence that is required in the top grade. But he was one of Canterbury's best players, Simon Gillies. He broke a leg, I think it was the start of last year, but prior to that he was Canterbury's best forward. And with him playing well, Canterbury are very healthy in the forward division. Matthew Ridge put down 22 metres out from his own line. Jack Elsgood. Elsgood, our stats suggest that's the 4th touch he's had of the ball. Hancock, a similar number there for him now too. Terry Hill, talking of Hancock, Williams on him with Polomouta. Terry Hill. This is Gartner. Now Lyons holds it back. Haligan came up quickly and then had to drop off onto his winger, but the knock-on has occurred.
Almost looked like intercept material there. Manly again looking to push the ball wide. Mistake made again, and as those half-time statistics showed, a lot of the errors made by Manly are in their own half. There was another one.
Polomouta standing wide at 5/8. Expecting the scrum win, which comes, and McCracken is put down. Lamb again now, drops it underfoot, and away goes Lamb. He kicks it again. Here comes Williams. Williams with the pickup, tries to get between them. He does, and Williams, he scores. Marvellous try. Tremendous piece of rugby league. Firstly by Lamb, and then secondly by Jason Williams.
Yeah, rugby league is all about foresight, the ability to read what's in front of you and react in a positive manner. And Terry Lamb, he looks up, he sees that again there is nobody at home. Matthew Ridge involved in the tackle from the previous play, couldn't get on the ball himself. He knows that Williams is chasing on the left. Williams, well, he even got the good bounce there to come back inside, and he brushes straight through Hancock, carries Oljanik over. And Terry Lamb, he was there in support once again, wasn't needed. But just look at Lamb, come to the line, sees that nobody's there. This is again the second tackle. Sides don't kick through on the second tackle. Canterbury have done it twice today. They've scored 10 and it might be 12. And Jason Williams, good finisher, New Zealand Test player. It's another try.
Ironically, we said, it must have been 15 minutes back in the game that their confidence was high. And I was talking about Jason Williams picking the ball up inches in from the touchline when he didn't have to. But he took it with high confidence, and that came through again as he scored that try. Haligan from an acute angle, but that doesn't really make much difference. Not to goal kickers like him. Leading point scorer last year, 26-8 in favour of Canterbury. 17,732 here at Brookvale today. McCracken brings the restart back. About 25 metres out from the Canterbury line. Jason Smith, the brother of Darren, is on now for Canterbury. Jim Dimmock, former Rabbitoh and former Magpie, permanently in the Canterbury side. At the back of the scrum these days is Jim Dimmock. Geordie Peets. Still a great player, isn't he, Terry Lamb? One of the greatest players ever to pull on the blue and white jumper, rated by Peter Moore as the best ever. And that's a huge rating because they've had players of the calibre of Steve Mortimer and Les Johns. But he had no hesitation, Peter Moore, when asked that question. It must have been 12 months ago, I think, when he made that assessment of Terry Lamb.
It's amazing to have a look at the contribution that Terry Lamb makes in a game of football, especially when you consider that really over the last 12, 18 months, fitness-wise, he has struggled to be 100%, and in fact probably isn't even now at the beginning of a season. But he's involved in every play. His ability to inspire his teammates, direct them in the right way, it's an infectious thing, and he is an incredible player.
Ball finding touch about 11 metres out from the Canterbury line. Interesting to watch Terry Lamb in defence this year. He was accused, which is probably the wrong word, but he was accused of being in the front line too much and having to make too many tackles. And it's it's no secret that clubs were running their attack at Lamb to try and soak up his energy. But now in defence, you'll see him in the sweeper role more often with the number 7 on his back. Next time they are in a defensive mode, we'll just pick him up for you. Terry Lamb in defence. They win the scrum. Wilson it is that comes into his back line, brushes away from Ridge, unloads to Dallas. Hancock's got a bit of a problem on his hands. It didn't turn out that way. And the ball comes loose. Haligan has ordered a scrum, a knock on. So Manly will come up with it now.
The first mistake with the ball made by Brett Dallas. Pretty strong tackle there from Terry Hill, and landed awkwardly. The ball popped out. Just over 10 minutes left on the clock now. A long way in arrears of Manly. They've really got to put on a 6-pointer in this set of 6. A run around, well read by both Scott Wilson and Brett Dallas. Matthew Ridge coming into the back line. As soon as he caught the football, he was crunched.
Terry Hill shaping as though he was going to kick and then opting to take on the defence. Gillespie. O'Donnell. Carroll. Hand off. Oljanik. He'll score. Manly gets a try.
And it was a very timely try. They had to score, as we pointed out, in that set of 6 with time running out. It's a pretty ordinary defence from Canterbury there. We're talking about Terry Lamb's defence. Not often that he misses one in the second line, but this is where the damage was done. Mark Carroll straight through Jim Dimmick, holds off Craig Polamaunta. Then Geordie Peets and Jason Williams, or Daryl Haligan, I'm sorry, gets brushed off. And Terry Lamb beaten with the step from Oljanik. So something like 4 missed tackles there from Canterbury. You'd be hard-pressed to see 4 missed tackles all game from the Canterbury. But they've come up with it in the one motion here, the one movement. And Oljanik has improved the position to make it an easier kick for Ridge.
The kick from Ridge sailing through the uprights. So 26 points to 14 in favour of Canterbury. $12 points the margin. Canterbury restarting for Ridge to send it back via Gardner. Jolting tackle. Plenty of spice in that tackle from Simon Gillies. Carroll put away just inside the 30-metre line by, again, Simon Gillies and Jason Smith. Gillespie playing against one of his former clubs today as well. Lions sending Gardner up the centre. O'Donnell.
We're in for an exciting finish in this game because Manly will throw the football around to try and bridge this deficit. They've got to score a couple of converted tries in a short period of time. If there's any team in the competition who can do it, it is them. Now they've really got to take some chances.
Play on, says Haligan. There was a hint of an obstruction there. Ball turned back inside for Gardner, and Manly desperately trying to keep it alive. This is the last tackle. O'Donnell out from dummy half. Lyons puts the kick in. Scott Wilson's there, tries to take it on the feet, and now runs it back from out just inside his 10-metre line. Beats one. Menzies grabs him. Lamb comes out from dummy half. Williams. Dimmick. Jason Smith. Gillies scooping it up off the ground for Lamb. Ridge goes back with Elsgood. Great effort by Terry Lamb. He puts everything into it. Forget about the scoreboard. They're 12 in front. He does the kicking, he does the chasing and the tackling. Alexander got through the tackle of Geordie Peets, and another tries to serve the pass up, held on wisely. Hill from dummy half out to Lyons. Short pass away for Oljanek. Then Lyons round the corner for Gardner. The pass looked forward to Elsgood, and Elsgood is put away. On the half volley, Lyons picked it up off the Tootsies. Menzies then to O'Donnell.
6 again, an important decision that once.
This set of tackles seems almost endless. Menzies tries to shrug off the tackle there of Terry Lamb. Penalty goes to Manly. Tap by Ridge. He runs to the 20-metre line, and then Lyons floats it to Menzies, who wasn't ready for it. Not that she get time to get ready. Stephen Menzies disappointed with himself. Dimmock. Williams is in front of the kicker. I thought Ridge is going to get there first. Ridge takes the gamble, which he had to take. Danny Moore loses it. Craig Hancock has got it. This is heart attack stuff for the Manly fans. Elsgood.
It's a bit good to watch, but not long to go. Manly really taking this one down to the wire, keeping the ball alive. O'Donnell tackled on his 20-metre line.
Because what Canterbury's got to be careful of is when they try and shut the promotion of the ball down, that they don't put a touch on it, because automatically the tackle count restarts. And sometimes that can be a bigger evil than just letting them have 6 tackles. That's forward. And referee Haligan this time will put a scrum down. MMI, let's say thank you to them. MMI Insurance. They provide the man of the match for Sundays and $1,000. Polamalu. Little do we know that when he scored that first try, and we've got a problem here with Polamalu, he has not moved.
Yeah, he was just stepping back inside there. It didn't look too much in the tackle, but sometimes the simplest things can lead to the problem. It's difficult to pick up what the problem is there with Polamalu. It looks like a knee problem of some sort. Just lost his footing there at the same time that Oljanek came up with the tackle, and looks like the right leg, the right knee. Polamalu, that would be a cruel blow. He's had another fine game today, Polamalu, in the final minutes of this match. Pretty tough player.
4 tries to 2 in favour of Canterbury, and Polamalu scored the first of the Canterbury tries. We weren't aware that there were 3 more pretty good tries to follow.
I'd imagine Chris Anderson would get him off as quickly as possible now. One play that you really don't take any chances with as Jim Dimmock pushes through 2 or 3 defenders, takes the 25 out.
Darren Smith. He's had a fine performance, Darren Smith. And he probably put his imprint on the game in the first half. And here's an intercept for Cliffy Lyons. They won't, oh yes they will, they're running him down very quickly, but now they won't catch Terry Hill. Hill goes down to score for Manly. A Only a few minutes remaining.
And because there's only a few minutes remaining, the worst possible thing that you can come up with is an intercept. It's Dean Pay who tries to throw the short ball to Brett Dallas. Cliff Lyons, well, as soon as Ray said that they weren't going to catch him, Daryl Haligan picked him up quick smart. And I think if you'd have said the same about Terry Hill, maybe Scott Wilson might have got him, but that wasn't the case. And the conversion attempt right in front being successful, all of a sudden, man, they're only 6 down, a couple of minutes on the clock, and they're going to get the ball from the kickoff.
26-20. Manly with nothing to lose. This match, I think for the bulk of people, was gone 25 minutes ago. But now they're back with, well, a fleeting chance of getting a draw. Haligan starts the last session of play. Carroll, inspiring run outside the 20. About 3 minutes to go. Gartner, just inside the 30-metre line. Lyons, across the back for Oljanek, out for Menzies, wide. Dimmick hangs on, Dallas comes from behind. Ridge from dummy half, out for Lyons, shows it inside, gets a pass away, Gillespie can't take it. A scrum just on the Manly side of halfway.
I'll never say die stuff from Manly, but again, the last passes let them down. There's our man of the match, the MMI man of the match, Darren Smith, leading the tackle count for Canterbury. So too the hit up, scored a try. Has worked extremely hard in what has been a good Canterbury outfit. Terry Lamb wasn't far behind him, neither Polamatta. Darren Smith back into his second row position, has spent plenty of time in the centres lately, involved once again.
I support the theory as well that in the second half he's been hampered by that right thigh muscle that he damaged in scoring the try. 19 is Hetherington. Off-season purchase, I think, from the Gold Coast for Canterbury. McCracken, 13 metres out. Just a couple of minutes to go. Trainers getting out onto the ground.
Field goal here is the option, Ray, but I'd rather just roll it into the in-goal area. Possession is the most important thing. I know that a field goal would wrap it up, but if it did go astray, all of a sudden, well, they're going for it.
Haligan didn't get quite enough time. Manly with the charge down. Ridge away for O'Donnell, and 35 metres out, he's tackled. So, Manly, now they've got their line wide and deep. Oljanek, the ball is knocked out by Canterbury, I thought. It's back with Manly. Lions away for Ridge. Ridge to O'Donnell. Stacks on the mill, and Canterbury have the ball. There's the siren. The clock showing still 90 seconds to go, but the siren has brought an end to a most exciting game of league between two of the top contenders. Canterbury defeating Manly by 26 points to 20.